Patriots 49ers. I went into this game expecting the Patriots to bounce back. 2 weeks ago against the Denver Broncos, the Patriots were terrible. I'm like, the Patriots, especially their defense, cannot have two really bad weeks in a row. This is a Bill Belichick coach team. I really expected them to bounce back. And I was also very skeptical of Jimmy Garoppolo, the 49ers quarterback, going into this game. Well, the 49ers won 33-6. The Patriots did not bounce back. Jimmy Garoppolo, I think this game really made me realize that I need to judge Jimmy Garoppolo differently. Jimmy G has very average, if not even below average, arm talent, meaning he doesn't drive the ball very well downfield. He's not going to have the best deep ball ever in the NFL or even close. And I've never been impressed with the way Jimmy Garoppolo throws the ball against man coverage downfield. Like, if you need a guy to throw a 30-yard ball to beat man coverage to win a game, Jimmy Garoppolo is the last person, at least one of the last people I would choose in the NFL to make that throw. And in a traditional offense, I wouldn't love Jimmy Garoppolo. But then I realized watching the Patriots game, I'm like, okay, the 49ers offense is not a traditional offense. The 49ers system, their play design, it so creatively generates yards, their motions, the way that they run screenplays, the way that Jimmy Garoppolo throws the ball behind the line of scrimmage a ton. And he had he had 277 yards passing, an absurdly high number. Dinking and dunking the entire game because of how well the 49ers generate yards. And that's not to say that he occasionally doesn't throw the ball, 13 yards downfield against a zone coverage look. But really all Jimmy Garoppolo needs to do is be a distributor. He really rarely ever needs to throw the ball more than 15 yards down the field. That's not what the 49ers offense asks him to do. And therefore, watching the 49ers offense, I realized I have to just judge him differently. You can't judge him the same way you would another quarterback because the 49ers offense is not just another offense. And then I realized, okay, the 49ers have dealt with so much adversity this year. A ton of injuries on top of an already difficult year due to COVID. And so in my opinion, the 49ers head coach, Kyle Shanahan, deserves a ton of credit. The guy is just, look, he smacked the Patriots with a depleted roster. I don't care who you are. The Patriots look awful right now. They're 2-4, fair enough. But you just took Bill Belichick to task. That deserves some respect. And so Kyle Shanahan, so far this year, we're 7 weeks in, is my coach of the year. And then, they're 4-3 right now. Here are the next 5 games for the 49ers. The next 5 games for the Niners are really, really tough. They play Seattle in Week 8. They play the Packers in Week 9. Week 10, they play the New Orleans Saints. Week 11, they have a bye week. Week 12, they have the Rams. And Week 13, they have the Buffalo Bills. So if by Week 14, the 49ers are still somehow in the playoff hunt, then in my opinion, Kyle Shanahan should win Coach of the Year easily. I go, that's just unbelievable, the job he's already done, and we'll see what he's going to do the rest of the year. They might fall apart. They might get their butts kicked. But again, if the 49ers are in striking distance, whether they make the playoffs or not, if they're still in the hunt come Week 14 after these next 5 games, I'm sold. Kyle Shanahan should win Coach of the Year. Now, the Patriots' offense was horrible on Sunday. Cam Newton had 3 interceptions. One of them was a play where he was extending the play outside the pocket, made a bad decision. Another throw was vertically downfield into double coverage. It wasn't there. I think maybe he was trying to push the ball vertically before halftime, but it wasn't a Hail Mary, although it kind of might. It wasn't a Hail Mary situation, so it was just a bad decision. And then his third interception was a ball a tad behind Julian Edelman. Got tipped up the air, intercepted. And so 3 bad throws by Cam Newton led to 3 interceptions. Jarrett Stidham came in the game. They were down 33-6. So let's put in the backup Jarrett Stidham. He also had an interception. And the question needs to be asked about New England. What's the problem? Is it the car or is it the driver? Is it the quarterback or is it the offense around him? And last year, I kept getting bombarded with messages and people sending me articles And I literally did a whole film analysis trying to debunk all the stuff I was getting sent where people kept telling me Tom Brady was falling off of a cliff. And I said, no way. I told people Tom Brady has no weapons on offense. Now in Tampa Bay, by the way, Tom Brady went to the Buccaneers, just had 5 touchdowns on Sunday. I think Tom Brady's playing pretty well. In my opinion, all Tom Brady needed was a couple of weapons. And look at where the Patriots are without Tom Brady and still with no weapons. Julian Edelman just got hurt, apparently. They have no real tight end. They have no vertical outside receiver. N'Keal Harry's been incredibly disappointing. So the Patriots have no weapons. They need weapons. And I don't feel comfortable blaming Cam Newton for a guy who is like, my hands are tied. I got nothing to work with. I don't have the tools I need. I see Cam Newton forcing balls downfield because he's desperate, trying to make something happen. Tom Brady couldn't make it work. Cam Newton couldn't make it work. In the limited 2 drives we saw Jarrett Stidham, he threw an interception as well. When's the last time the Patriots had 4 passing interceptions in one game? The Patriots offense is a mess. They need weapons. I've been saying this now. This is my 3rd year in a row saying the Patriots need to get offensive weapons, particularly last year. Last year was awful. 2 years ago, they had Rob Gronkowski. Wow. 1 tight end and a slot receiver. That's all they had. And last year, they didn't even have Gronk. It's ridiculous. Now the Patriots defense is also a mess. They're really missing some of the key players they lost. They lost Jamie Collins to the Detroit Lions. They lost Kyle Van Noy, another linebacker, to the Dolphins. Basically, the entire Patriots linebacker core is gone because they also had Dante Hightower opt out of the 2020 season due to COVID. Their safety, Patrick Chung, also opted out. And the Patriots are a mess. They're 2-4. Their offense has no weapons. Their defense is depleted. They're missing assignments. I've never seen a Bill Belichick coached team play this poorly. And I don't want to blame, Bill Belichick created this roster. He created the problem. But it's also not even all on Bill Belichick because, again, COVID hit. You lost your leaders on defense. So it's just a mess. The Patriots, I feel bad for Cam. I feel bad for Belichick. I think this year was always going to be him trying to cobble together one of the best years he could ever put together, given the circumstance. Then it got even worse with COVID. And the Patriots right now, they're 2-4. I have very little hope with the Patriots. I love Bill Belichick. At this point, it feels like they're going back to the drawing board, getting ready for next year, and trying to cut their losses. By the way, there was a cool moment in this game, Patriots and 49ers. Jim Nantz, the broadcaster, got the best broadcasting crew in the NFL. So in college, it's Gus Johnson and Joel Klatt. In the NFL, it's Tony Romo and Jim Nantz. But Jim Nantz, guy I love, threw out a stat. He said, this is only the 2nd time the Patriots have pulled a quarterback. Bill Belichick has pulled a quarterback due to ineffectiveness in the last however many years in New England, like a long time. And he pointed out both times a quarterback was pulled due to ineffectiveness was this year with Cam Newton. And Tony Romo, I loved it, stood up for Cam. He said, okay, he said, ineffectiveness is not a stat that you can measure. I'm like, Tony Romo, yeah, my guy. Because people throw out, and again, I love Jim Nantz. I don't think Jim Nantz is at fault here. I think it's really just the culture of statistics. There's no way to measure ineffectiveness. And people throw out statistics all the time that mean basically nothing. This is one of those. And Tony Romo goes, first of all, how do you measure that? You can't. And then he goes, remember the Chiefs-Patriots game a couple years ago where the Patriots got their butts kicked and Bill Belichick took out Tom Brady, put in Jimmy Garoppolo? What do you call that? Wouldn't that be, quote, ineffectiveness? So therefore, your statistic is wrong anyway. I loved it. It's not a shot at Jim Nantz. It's a shot at the way that the world looks at statistics, and we're always finding weird numbers to fit whatever narrative we're trying to point out. And Jim Nantz was trying to do nothing wrong. I thought it was healthy debate. Jim Nantz threw out a thing. Tony Romo goes, Jim, I disagree. And it was one of my favorite moments I've ever seen during football, because often when people have a disagreement, it's yelling and screaming, especially in the sports media world. They're not going to do that on a broadcast. I thought it was cool. Jim Nantz threw out this thing. Tony Romo said, that's not accurate. No way. Healthy debate. It was fun. It was interesting. It's one of my favorite moments of the year that nobody's going to care about, that I went, Yes, Tony Romo, I love you. Thank you. And it's just one of my favorite moments of the year, that tiny, weird nuance about a statistic, ineffectiveness that means nothing. And I'm thankful for Tony Romo for pointing that out.